Yes, you're eating plastics. You're also eating steroids, pesticides, antibiotics, and endocrine disruptors. Now, to be able to what I'm about to say, you have to understand a concept called biomagnification. Now, what biomagnification is it's a concept that whatever the bottom food chain eats, it goes up. When the bottom food chain eats a chemical or absorbs something, it doesn't disappear. It stays with the bottom food chain and it works its way up. And because it works its way up, it only grows as it moves up in the food chain. So if you have 5 grams of pesticides, let's say in an insect, well, that's only going to multiply by 2, so it'd be 10 grams in like a bird or something. Then it'd be 20 grams in a snake, and then 30 grams, and then 40 grams if you're going to eat that snake for yourself. So biomagnification states that whatever the bottom food chain eats, it is only multiplied at the top. And somehow, some way, humans are at the top of the food chain. So when it comes to chemicals, this is not good. Well, you might say, well, the FDA, it keeps track of our chemicals, and, the FDA makes sure that we don't ingest any bad stuff and that the food that we eat doesn't ingest any bad stuff. And that's where you'd be wrong. The FDA does absolute jack squat. The FDA does not do anything to contribute to regulations or implications of any measures to stop bad stuff getting into our food. Yes, steroids are used in beef, cattle, and chicken. Yes, steroids are bad for you. You should probably not be eating steroids, and you probably should not be getting steroids into your body. As we all know, steroids have significant side effects. So yes, steroids are not bad. Does this explain why humans are somehow larger than they've been in the past? No, it's not the sole contributor. Most likely diet and other things affect, but I'm sure that steroids have something to do with this. Yes, pesticides are consumed by humans, and yes, pesticides are bad. If you're not going to eat meat, you would say, well, they use steroids in the meat. Well, you're going to go eat a salad. Guess where the salad comes from? Pesticides. Yes, pesticides are bad for humans, and guess what? Because of biomagnification, those insects and the fishes from the runoff of the pesticides also get the biomagnification. So no matter what you eat, no matter what you do, you're ingesting chemicals, you're ingesting plastic, you're ingesting all of these things. And let's go back to the cattle. They also use antibiotics in the cattle for concentrated animal feed operations. CAFOs, they use steroids and antibiotics and amongst other things. But the antibiotics, should you really be eating antibiotics if you're not sick? No. And what does this also cause? This also is called antibiotic resistance, which only furthers the implications that we have, the measures we have to go to fight infections, making infections better and stronger. So all of these things are definitely not good, and all these things are definitely not things you should be putting in your body. And the FDA, yet again, refuses to regulate any of this. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that this is a bad thing by any means, because obviously if we need to feed the population of the United States is a continually ever growing, we need to feed all these people. And what's the only way to do it? You either do GMO. Of course, you've seen the pictures, the GMO chicken growing from year to year, which honestly, I have no problem with GMO, because GMO is not, ingesting chemicals. It's just crossbreeding and stuff like that. Personally, I don't think GMO is bad at all. But what is bad is ingesting chemicals inside of animals, and then just so happens because of biomagnification that we ingest those chemicals and pesticides and all of that to ourselves. And of course, all of these things are real, but if you don't have a real outside evidence, how are you going to prove anything? So as you know, you have to eat food to survive, and if you're not eating food, you're dead. So all these chemicals and stuff have been ingested by everyone that eats food, even the United States and outside the United States as well. The FDA, your food regulations are even worse than they are in America. Some are better, some are worse, but for the most part, they're usually worse in other countries. So there's a study, and I'm sure we're all familiar with it. It's menstrual cycles. If you're not aware, menstrual cycles have been occurring sooner and sooner and sooner. Now, why is this? Because of endocrine disruptors. All these chemicals and stuff that you're putting in your body, they're not good for you. And when your menstrual cycle should be occurring naturally, further on down the line, and is somehow suddenly occurring sooner for a lot of people, well, the only common derivative that I could find is food. What does everybody eat? They have to eat food. So, as I've mentioned, these are very real examples. These are very real things, no matter what the government says, that they don't put antibiotics, steroids in chickens. They don't put antibiotics. They don't put steroids and stuff like that. The government does use steroids. People do use steroids. People use antibiotics. People use pesticides. And people use all these chemicals that you should not be ingesting. And yet they're used. And you are ingesting them due to biomagnification. Very real thing. Very studied. Very in-depth. Proven to be real. So just remember, no matter what you're doing, you are eating some type of chemical. You're eating some type of plastic. You're eating some type of antibiotic. And you're eating some type of pesticide. There's no way to avoid it in this day and age. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? Undeniably, there's bad consequences. Undeniably, there's positive consequences. You're not going to be able to feed all these people without your chemicals. And on the bad side, it's bad for people's health. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does matter. But at the end of the day, you have to weigh your pros and you have to weigh your cons. So that's going to be about it for today. Stay safe and stay hydrated.